Good morning. Welcome back to another video. I am going to do some rolling out. I just have on a cutoff tee and some leggings, and I just purchased this roller and I need to roll out my legs. I'm so sore. I've been working out so much this week, and I just got off of a phone call. It's actually not morning, it is like the afternoon time. I wanted to vlog for you guys, so let's do a little mini stretch. I have my natural hair out. Oh my gosh, it looks so crazy though. Like, fun fact, my hair's naturally like this wavy. I just never really leave it like this, but I probably should more because it's like, I think it's really pretty. It's more curly than normal because I had it in a bun, but it's, yeah, I have like wavy hair naturally, and yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna do a little stretching, and I just want to roll out like my legs. They're so sore, so that's what I'm gonna do. Is it working? Hi you guys, it's been a little bit since I vlogged. I think it's around noontime right now, and I just propped you guys down for like 2 seconds because I want to talk about something. So today is Monday, and it's a fresh week, new week, but that's usually my mindset towards, I guess, weeks. I just feel like I can never put this down right. I just burnt my finger and it hurts so bad. And I'm just continuing this vlog a little bit, just a little longer. But I literally was cooking. I was making a fried egg for breakfast. I had oatmeal this morning, and then I was making another little fried egg to make a sandwich and a coffee. And then, what is that? I literally burnt my finger and it hurts so bad. I feel like I haven't like burnt anything that bad in like forever. I used to flat iron my hair when I was in high school. Like, I just remember using that, and sometimes you would just like, you know, catch your finger on it and it would burn, and that always hurt. But this was like on there for like a good 2 seconds. Like, I know that doesn't seem long, but it just like was enough to like already blister, and it's throbbing. But I just put a band-aid and some cream on it to help it. And I don't know why that made me want to sit down and talk, because I feel like things happen like in this like synchronized order sometimes. Like this morning, I'm just gonna be real, because like I feel like that's just how I like to be. I want to be real, I want to be transparent, and I just, not every day is going to be this like beautiful day, as it should be, as we should take things as a blessing and not take things for granted. But I came downstairs, first of all, I woke up this morning around like 8, and I've been going to bed a little bit later, and I definitely want to make a new goal thing. And I was waking up really early for a long time. I was waking up at like 6, and then I was like going to bed really early. But ever since I got back from Florida, I've just been on like a little bit of a different schedule, I guess. Like, you know, you just like get used to kind of falling asleep later. So I'm really trying to go back to bed around like 9:30, 10 the latest, and getting a full like 8 hours of sleep, and then like waking up around 6 and just like doing that every single day consistently. Like, you know, because I feel like your body, ow, I keep hitting it. I just feel like that's the best thing for your body. And last night I went to bed not that late, but it was like 10:45, I guess. But I woke up this morning at 8, which is kind of late for me. I know that might not be late for you, but I just used to wake up at like 5 or 6, so that's just like really late for me. Then I had a good morning. Like, I was like, I'm gonna have a good morning. Last night I was like planning out my whole day. I was not the whole day, but I like to do that. I like to take a big to-do list, and I like to just kind of plan what I'm gonna like do in the next day, some of my goals, like some stuff that I want to like get done. And I did that, and then I woke up, I had a good morning. I did like a 5-minute prayer meditation, and then I did some journaling, and that was about it because I had class. And then I came downstairs, and this is so dumb, like I'm just like, this is so weird, but I put on a pair of sweatpants, like this is what I did, and they were like, they felt like really big, like they were just like a pair of my old sweatpants that I've like had, and I just remember that they used to like not fit me loose, and I just started crying, like like I was like bawling my eyes out, like in my hands, and I was just like so mad and like stressed out. Like at first I was mad that I like hadn't ate yet, like I don't know if this happens to you guys, and I might be getting my period, and I don't know if this ever happens to you guys, you just get like stressed, like something just like, I don't know, like hits you, and it just makes you like, you don't even know, like you don't have words, so you just like cry. Like I'm a crier, like I feel like I just will cry at like random stuff. When I get frustrated, I just like start to cry and then I feel better. But I like think it's so much more psychological than like a pair of pants not fitting you. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because, well, my mom was right there, and she was like, what is wrong? Like, and I was like, I'm losing weight, like I feel like all I do is work out, and like I don't understand, like I don't see results. Like I used to be so fit and I loved the way my body looked, and then I tore my ACL, because like if you guys don't know, I talk about it all the time, but I'm 6 months post-op of my ACL surgery. And I think just the misconception with that is that people think like, oh, like once you're able to walk and stuff with your ACL, it's like all okay. And you know, of course it's like a better step, like you're always improving, especially once you're hitting the 6-month mark, like you're almost cleared actually. But it's just like, there's been this like thing with me, this like mental thing where before well, if you don't know me that well, I guess, like in high school, I don't know if I've ever touched on it, I have worked out like my whole life, essentially. Like I've just always worked out. Like in high school, I would go to the gym. Like I know my friends would go home and take a nap, because like you're in school from like 8 to 3. I would go home and like go straight to the gym, and like I would work out just for like 2 hours, whatever, 3 hours, like whatever, not 3 hours, but and then I would come home, and then college hit, and I was working out with my team, and so we were just like building muscle. Like I felt strong, I felt good. And then I tore my ACL when I was like 16. That was the first time I ever tore it. And then after that, I started getting really into working out, because I think I tore it, and so because of that, I was like, well, I love working out now. And so I see the silver lining with that. But then 5 to 6 years goes by, and then I'm in college as a senior. So my senior year of college, I was out of practice, and I just happened to tear my ACL. Like it was the most absurd thing in the whole world. Like I don't know why I was so shocked, because I just like think I forgot that when I tore my ACL, that it was like something I'd gone through, you know, because 5.5 years, that's a long time. Like, you know, you don't entirely remember things that specific in detail from 5 years ago, so it's like, you know, it can be like hard. So I did know though the process, and I knew the parts that sucked, because it's not easy. Any surgery or any process that sets you back, takes you out of your season, you know, like for a full year, is just like very discouraging. And yeah, I definitely have struggled. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, everything's like peaches and creams, like everything's like super smooth. Like this has been one of the hardest things I have ever gone through, like in my life. And I just think this part of it is like more mental, and I just think it's like, you know, and because I'm so and because I believe in God, like I have such strong faith, but there's times where I don't have strong faith, unfortunately. And I always try to pray, and I used to in the beginning always ask God, like, why did you tear, or why did this happen again, you know, like why did I have to tear it again, like 6 years later, like, you know, I had gone so long, and why did it have to be during my senior year of college? Like, how come I couldn't play with my team? Like, why do I have to show up and like not play? Because it just makes me sad. But I really just think you can't ask God why, and the more that you ask and wonder why, I just think you're going to be torturing yourself, because sometimes things happen and you don't know why. You don't know why now, and maybe you will in the future, or maybe you won't, but you just have to be like at peace with that. And I think that in itself is a really big lesson to learn, and if you can master that, like, I feel like that is something to be really proud of. And I've seen where I have grown like so much, you know, maybe my muscles haven't grown as much, but it's like, is that as important right now as to like your mind growing, or to like being taught new things about life? Or like when things come your way, it's like, you know, maybe I need to be taught how to like overcome and like, I don't know, like go through hard times, like, and still come out like a winner. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is acceptance, like just accepting yourself like as you are, and losing control, because I'm very hard on myself. It's a good thing, but it's also can be a bad thing, because I just don't give myself enough grace. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what it is, like I'm very like easy on other people, like, and I love to push them, but I'm always like giving them advice, like, you know, just take the day off, like don't be so hard on yourself, like not even take the day off, but just like I tell people like such great advice, and then sometimes I just don't take it myself, which I think is like common and normal. But I'm like, I don't need to be so rigorous to myself, you know, like I don't have to make myself feel like I'm like any less of a person because I don't even know if that's it. I don't know. I'm just like brain dumping, but I don't know. Hopefully this can like help someone. Like, I know social media is like such a platform where everybody thinks everyone lives this like perfect life, and like, I don't know, like everybody thinks everything's perfect, and I feel like I just want to show this like side of me where like I struggle. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm not afraid to like say it. I just hope this can like show realness and like transparency. Like, I definitely struggle, because especially after going through something like this, it's like, just because it's 6 months doesn't mean that like everything's okay. And it is okay, like everything's better, and I know that I'm going to be able to achieve the goals that I want again. I know my body's gonna look the way that I want it to again. Like, what's the rush? Like, I have so much of my life to do that, but there has just been this like mental block of me like going to the gym, and when I get there I just like almost am not as encouraged, like I'm not as excited, and I'm not as like, I don't know, I just feel different, because I think I'm just a little discouraged. And I think, you know, I've been working out now for like 3 months, and I just still don't see like the results that I wish. But I think that this is the part where you can't give up, and you have to keep going, because if you give up, it's like, what's the point, you know? But I also see like the other side of like what God is trying to teach me, and it's like, you can't put your happiness just in one thing, and you also can't, like, you also have to learn how to accept parts of yourselves that, like, parts of myself too, like just like the way that it is. Like, you know, if you're not gonna have control over a situation, like, you can't break down. And I think that's what he's trying to teach me, because I don't know what the difference would be if I had my dream body right now, if I looked how I did like 2 years ago or a year ago before I tore my ACL. I don't know how much like happier that would have made, like, I'm saying it would make me happy, but that's not what God wants to make me happy. Does that make sense? Like, and I'm not saying that God doesn't want you to look good. Like, of course he does, but there's just like so much more depth to that. Like, what if I got hurt and like I really couldn't ever work out again? What would you do? You know what I mean? Like, what would I do? Would I be mad at my life for the rest of my life? Would I be mad at myself? Would I hate myself for the rest of my life? So I think that's what I'm dealing with a little bit, like that part where you have to just accept what's happened, accept things like that. And I don't know. But I know things can get better. I know they will. I'm just trying to stay positive And I have a great support system, like my mom, all my physical therapist trainers, my dad, my sister, like all the people around me, my friends, my trainer, he's been really helpful, my coaches and just teammates and stuff. So yeah, I definitely think that helps, being around people who are supportive and uplifting and encouraging and positive. It's like you can get back to where you've been before. It's definitely possible. You just have to learn how to work harder, and the only thing that that's going to do, even if it seems unfair because you see that other people are, you know, they don't have to go through it, what you go through. And I think one thing with that is that you don't know what everyone goes through. Like, you don't know what they're going through. They could be going through something and you don't even know. That's really hard. Or they're going through something completely different. That's really hard. Like, you know, everybody does go through things. That's why we need God. I couldn't do life without God. Like, I just don't know what I would do. But yeah, so I just wanted to discuss that a little bit and touch on it. But I'm not gonna give up, even on the hard days. And I think today was just a little bit of like a harder day, I guess. Like, I don't know. I was like, I just can't believe I like put pants on. Like, I literally put on sweatpants and I started bawling my eyes out. And my mom was like, are you like good? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, I don't know. It's like, I'm losing weight. Like, I'm like so thin. Like, I don't understand like what's going on. Like, I was like, am I like sick? Like, I don't know. Also, one thing too, like my aunt, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but my aunt passed away I think it's been 4 years? 4 years ago, I think. She passed away from this disease called CJD, and it was a really rare disease, and it was something that is terminal, like, unfortunately, and it is like literally one in 1 million people get it, and it's just like the most rarest disease that, you know, people don't even know what it is. That's how rare it is, you know. And it's sort of similar to cancer, but a little bit different. It basically eats at the proteins of your brain. I don't know, without getting into detail with it. But before she passed away, she was like losing a ton of weight, and she wasn't trying to, like, she didn't mean to, she didn't want to. People were just like, oh, you look smaller, you look thinner. And people have been saying that to me like the past like week. Like, I feel like they've just been like, oh, you look like thinner, and I'm like, yeah, I tore my ACL like 6 months ago. I'm like, of course I'm gonna lose like all the muscle that I have on my body. And then I get other people who say I like look good, but even just like they'll be like, oh, your face looks a little thinner, like you look just like thinner. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, I'm not trying to, I'm actually trying to gain muscle. So I think like comments like that can get discouraging because you're almost like doing the opposite of what you are getting like feedback on. And I just remember people would say that to her, and I just remember her being like, well, I'm not trying to lose weight, and then she ended up having like this disease which killed her. So maybe there's some psychological thing behind that, and it's not genetic what she had. Like, it's, you know, fortunately it's not genetic, but I think it's just something that like we all can think about, like, you know, why do certain stuff upset us? And I think it definitely can have like an underlying meaning, you know what I mean? It's not just like surface level, like I'm putting on a pair of pants and I cry, like that's so dumb, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'm always like, you know, then it's like stress, like there's things of life that are just like stressful, and, you know, I don't know, like, who knows, but I'm making it a goal to just put that aside, give it to God. I know He doesn't want you to be stressed out. He wants to give you rest. You know, it says to come to Him all that you are weary, and I will give you rest. So that is what I'm doing. And it shouldn't matter like what you look like. Like, I don't know where in society like that it got tripped up that you need to like look a certain way, act a certain way. Like, it's literally like being confident in who you are. Like, that's like so who I am, and I think I lost that a little bit when I tore my ACL for the second time. I think it's just, you know, I think when you define yourself as like beautiful by the way that you look, it's like your looks fade. Something could happen to you tomorrow. Not to put fear into you, but like it's just something that like it shouldn't equal happiness. Like way I look equaling happiness shouldn't be like a thing. But unfortunately, like I feel like the society we live in, like it does make it a thing. Like the world that we live in, it's like very much so like, oh, you look good, you feel good. Like, you know what I mean? But what about the days that you don't feel good? Like, or you don't look good? Do you break down? And I learned that. Like I learned these habits to like, God transformed me in that. And so what I'm trying to say is like, when he transformed me in that, after I tore my ACL, I've noticed that they're trying to creep back in and stuff. So I just say nope. Like in my head, I just like, it's so weird. I do this thing where I like scratch. I'm like, no, like it's not allowed. Like those bad thoughts are not allowed. Like, and I rebuke the enemy because the enemy's a liar and he wants to make you feel like you are those things. And God doesn't say that we are those things. Like we are his princesses. We are his kings of this world, and okay to think them, but it's not supposed to bear fruit in us, you know? So yeah, I guess just a little rant. If you guys are ever feeling like this, you're not alone. But it is almost 1 and I have some stuff to do, so I think I'm gonna close this video off here though. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant, this little talk about body image and just confidence and going through hard times, because I first-handed get it. So if you ever need someone to talk to, my DMs are always open. If you have my number, you can text me, call me, whatever you want. I totally understand. I'm willing to pray for you, and yeah, I know things are gonna get better. Sometimes we just have like moments that are hard, so I just wanted to document it and share with you guys, because it just like wouldn't seem real if not, you know? It's like I could obviously just get on this camera and be like, pretend like I didn't feel like that this morning or cry, but that doesn't feel right, you know? And I think that's like what a lot of social media does. It's like you could have a meltdown and then post a picture of I don't know, a flower and be like whatever, like I don't know, like life comes in waves. But yeah, there's like the salt and the light of life, like, you know, it's just like there's good and bad times, and there's hard times, easy times, you know, life comes in waves. So it's just about like staying positive, and even when you don't feel like doing stuff, or even when you don't feel like going through the hard times, it's like, you know, finding your strength in God, and he'll help you and you'll get through it. So okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I hope you guys did enjoy this video though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, if you want to help me out. It does help me out so much, so I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.